What's happening, people? Nice to see you all back. Welcome back to Blues Fans TV. We are just going to go through a couple of things as the title would dictate. We'll be talking about, as much as we can anyway, about Matt Miazga officially deciding he wants to leave. Then we'll go on to a bit of talking about Real Madrid, all that sort of lark, and how we performed that game, what we thought of the game, whether it was a good result towards the end, whether it was a disappointing result given the chances we had, and all that sort of stuff. And I'll just keep rambling on till I can get a few of you guys jumping on and all that stuff. And then, of course, we'll be talking about the Fulham game, which is, of course, 5:30 tomorrow. And we'll talk about all the sort of potential injuries and the what we would assume being a huge amount of not substitutions, so a huge amount of changes to the team with the second leg of the Champions League coming up. Of course, it's still important. We cannot take players like Fulham that play for Fulham for granted. They're in a relegation battle. They're going to be fighting for their lives. They all are desperate to stay up. But on the turn of that coin, we are also desperate to keep our Champions League spot. So this game is not to be sniffed at. I know in the past, Chelsea and Fulham haven't had the most enthralling games as it goes to it, but 3 points is 3 points, and we're in desperate need of them. So we're going to have to figure out who's going to play where and all that sort of stuff. You, of course, can also join in with the conversation if you wish to, like these guys have already. Do not forget, though, if you guys do start commenting loads and loads and loads, I may not be able to see them or get to them in time. So if you are desperate for yourself to be part of the conversation, do not forget about the super chat and the super likes. So I'm going to get my guests on in just a sec. But again, my take on this before I get everybody else's take is I'm sort of using Miazga here as a sort of a example, really, as to how we treat some of our players coming in and things like that. We've seen it in the past, and I just think we haven't really learnt from our mistakes in the last sort of 5 to 10 years. You know, we have all these people, they go out on loan, and then we don't really give them the chance or the original opportunities we probably initially intended for them to have in the first place. So although we can't really speak too much on Miazga's Chelsea career, we can talk about his what he symbolises, if you would, for some of the people we do sign and we don't give the time of day, because I, for one, not only don't think it's very fair for their personal careers, it's also quite clearly disheartening just as a person in general. So we're going to get 3 people on that I'm sure you're all very familiar with. We're going to get Fata on, we're going to get Zion on, and we're going to get Eli on, and we'll chuck them all on now. There's Fata, there is Zion, and there's Eli. What are you saying, guys?
You got echo in your back.
How are you, bro?
So all good, all good.
All good.
Lovely. So we will start. We'll go in the order of the square, really. So we'll go Fata, Eli, and Zion, unless you guys are desperate to jump in. But Fata, what are you thinking of this Miazga thing? Because of course we can't say anything too much on his actual performances. But is he just sort of a symbol of what we've done wrong in the past, and how do you think we should rectify this in the future?
I've seen his statement from last night, and he said it. What I can say is my time at Chelsea will not normally continue. Yeah, I do feel like during his time at Chelsea, the timing of it, I don't think it comes to at a worst time. I don't think like he hasn't got that, the lots of experience in the Chelsea team, and it was a bit disruption. And I thought, for me, this guy, when I first met him, I thought it's gonna be like, yeah, do I think this guy gonna be that take us to the next level? Personally, I think the way that he's been loaned out, and I won't be surprised if he, getting sold this summer, mainly because I think we need more fees to solidify, to strengthen our team. And the fact that it's not only him, it's lots of rumors that are circling around Chelsea, Tammy Abraham, Fikayo Tomori, and loads of lonely players that are coming back to this team are going to have to be sold in the summer. And with the amount that is looking at, they're looking at about 3.4. So technically, we could have around like £80 million this summer to spend on a player that could strengthen this team, that could take us to the next level to challenge the likes of Liverpool and Man City.
Yeah. Eli, agree, disagree?
No, I 100% agree. About Miazga, I never thought he was good enough for Chelsea.
No.
It's just my personal opinion. It's just business. That's what the owners want to do. Same as Gilabuji, same as Kennedy, same as a lot of players like Miazga. And I just wish him the best of luck for the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And you forget he's been with us so long. And Zion, please jump in as well, of course, because I don't think we can really stretch this Miazga conversation as far as possible, really. But you got to remember, he's only 25 still. He's still got a huge career if he ends up going somewhere else. And I know he's had many loan spells and things like that. Zion, what do you think? Do you agree or disagree with the guys? Or is it all pretty much all we can say, really? Just best luck for the future and it didn't work out?
I mean, there's nothing else to say. Let's be real. Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, the guy, I've seen him play. Let's be real. I mean,
no.
I knew that, if you think about our academy players, some of these guys who are young, I think they know that some of these guys aren't going to make it to the starting team, into the first team. So they just send them out on loan, and then, they're hopeful that on loan they perform, step up on a higher level, in Europe or so that, but they don't, they struggle. But there's nothing else to talk about. I mean, to be honest with you, I wish the guy the best of luck for his, career or whatever he's got. But he stayed here for too long. Let's be real. I mean, in my opinion, he should have left because we know that I think he probably knew as well that he wasn't going to break into the first team. Let's be real, because Tomori, look how long it took him to get into the first team. If Lampard wasn't there, I don't think Tomori would have been there. No. I don't think Mason Mount would have been there. I don't think Tammy Abraham would have been there. So you got to think about this. Only I think players like who were players from this club and come to Man is like the likes of Frank Lampard, the likes of Jody Morris. These guys know these youth players. These guys know the academy. So any European manager, world class manager comes in, they're not going to get any game time under them, or even get a sniff around the starting lineup. Let alone be there. So they'll probably just be happy on the bench. That's what they'll bring on, just to bring on some muscle, some squad depth. That's it. But there's nothing to talk about this guy. I mean, like I said, he's been here for so long. Let's be real, but his statement really, actually, I feel sad for him. I feel really sad for him. I feel sad for how long he's been here. From an academy player and all that. I feel really sad for him. But it's football. Football right now, in my opinion, is a business. It's just you can't. I think all these youth academies are businesses for some of these clubs. Let's be real. This is where they're making the most money and then getting these world class players. I mean, look, City did that with Sancho. Sancho didn't sell him for a lot of money, but look at Sancho now. Like he was not. To be honest with you, they were saying that he was going to be like Callum Hudson-Odoi at that rate. I know we're going off topic here, but Callum Hudson-Odoi here was above Sancho when he was at City. But then Sancho elevated himself by leaving Chelsea, City, going to Dortmund, and look at him now. Look at his value. Look at him on the big stage. He can perform. But some of these players don't get that opportunity. So for him to leave, I think is the best decision for him. But there's nothing to discuss about him. Let's be real. I mean, I just want to say good luck to him. But yeah,
exactly. It's a tricky one, really. So, but we won't dwell on that. But what we will do, guys, we'll also get Alex in. So, Alex, hello.
Hi, boys. You all right?
Lovely. Yeah. So, pretty well, I won't ask you the same question because I think we're all in agreement that you can't really say too much about Miazga. Really, it's a shame that it's ended in the way it did. I'm surprised it took so long to end. Anyway, good luck to him. Hopefully, he performs to a particularly decent standard for him. And I hope he does well for the rest of it. He is only 25, we forget. He's been with us for so long. But that's all we could talk about on that, really. Talks of Tammy's fee, Fatah. So that's sort of being discussed now. What are you thinking on Abraham?
He is not deserved 180k per week. Let's remind that. And the way that he's come out and then he said himself, like, I feel for him the way that the contract, it feels like he doesn't deserve to be that much, because I think he has got that good talent. Even though last season, I think he had an amazing season in my point of view, and I just think this season it's about sustainability and business at the end of the day. And sadly to say that he's fallen out with Tuchel. And not in a bad way. I think like Tuchel doesn't rate him. I feel like Tuchel doesn't recognize him as much as the other players, and it's sad to see that it's going to end like this for Tammy Abraham. But if Chelsea want to sell him about £40 million in the summer, I don't mind at all, because we're gonna get that loads of money in the summer anyway, in order for us to strengthen the area that we need strengthening, especially in a striker department, because Giroud's gonna gone as well, and apparently Tomori's in the AC Milan. I feel like AC Milan want to keep him for long term, and we're going to be looking at about £100 million profit this summer, and then we can use that kind of money to bring on a top player that we need to strengthen.
Yeah, Alex, I'll jump to you quickly because I haven't given you a chance to say anything yet. But do you agree? Disagree? Do you think Tammy deserves a run out towards the end of now we're approaching the end of the season, or do you think it's a little bit too risky?
I think it's a tough one because obviously the league table is quite tight. So part of me thinks, he is a good player and he deserves a shot. But at the same time, it's like the games we have left, like it's not like we're kind of 6 points clear of fifth, right? Like it's tight. So like every game matters. I kind of wish we weren't in the position we're in, to be honest. I think if we'd played better against Brighton and maybe got some better results, maybe we actually could have had some games to just put Tammy in. To be fair though, it's interesting though, because Timo, in fairness, needed a run to get his confidence back and was given that, right? So there is an argument to be made that potentially when Tammy does come on, he can be clinical and, he's not just like a spare part. He actually can be a good player. The only problem about Tammy is he's always done very well in the Championship. Like, I like him. I've always thought he's a good player, but I don't think especially at the level we're at now, a Champions League semi-final or pushing for the league next season, don't know if Tammy is the type of player that Tuchel is going to be looking to, unfortunately. So, I agree. He probably does need a few games at the end of the season, but because the league's tired, I think we get that.
Yeah. Who should we go to now with the news? Zion. So cup game wise, Zion, do you think Tammy should get a run in the final, or do you think again too risky? Leicester's front two at the minute are absolutely flying. Should we just stick to what we know, or should we maybe take a risk with something like that? What's your opinions on that?
Tebo's not doing anything. Let's be real. I mean,
I didn't. I just like to say fatter. I didn't say that. Okay.
I mean, let's be real. I mean, okay, you know what? As much as Fatter likes Timo, and you know what? I like the guy. Don't get me wrong. He's a good player, but he's just not a goal. He's not a number 9 for me. I just still don't think he's a number 9. I don't know why, people are saying that he's that type of guy. No, he scored a lot of goals for Leipzig. But he's just not. He's not a natural number 9 finisher. He's a finisher. He can score goals, but he likes to play on that left-hand side.
He scored the win against West Ham. Remember?
Yeah, but I know he scored against West Ham. But I get that, and I praised him for that. You know what? I wanted, and after that, I wanted to kick on. I wanted him to keep it going. But
100%.
I just don't think he's been consistent enough. But like I said, I don't think Tuchel will play Tammy in the final. Let's be real. I just don't think he fits him. There's something that's gone on with those two. Tammy must have done something, that Tuchel has said, you know what? Nah, you're not getting anything now. Forget it. So keeping him beyond this summer is there's no point. It's just you're just going to be wasting, not only his talent, but his career. So move him on, because I think loads of teams right now are looking for a striker. And they wouldn't mind getting like a player like Tammy, because I think he can go to any Premier League, not in the big clubs, but he can go to a mid-table team and transform them, because he's got goals in him. Let's be real. He can score at least, in my opinion, double-digit goals a season. I think he can do that. He's that type of player. He just needs the confidence and get some game time. But at Chelsea, he's not going to get that.
No.
He's not.
Which is a shame. Which is a shame, actually, because he's been a very good. He's been a relatively consistent performer. There's been time I am very much in the camp where I'm someone that's given him a lot of stick, but he has come through.
And you know what? His attitude is just immense. I've never seen anything coming out the training ground or anything saying, "Oh, Tammy's done this." There's been disruptions like that. I've seen nothing like that. His attitude is brilliant. That's what you want in a player. Because you don't want when players don't play. You saw when Lampard got sacked, how many players were going behind his back. All these kind of this. Nobody was happy. Tammy now isn't playing. He's frozen out the squad. He could do the same thing what the other players did, with Lampard for Tuchel. He could say, you know what, I'm not getting the game time. Causing this mayhem in training. Getting the players distracted for big games. He's not doing that. If you see his social media posts, he's supporting the team as well.
Yeah.
Come on, you Blues, big game for the boys. The guy's attitude is world class. There's no doubt in that. So I think he deserves, to leave and deserves to be playing for a good club, and especially in the Premier League, in my opinion, as well.
Yeah, and Eli, we'll come to you as well, especially on just in regards to what Zion just said. When you think of the likes of Norwich and Watford who are coming up, they would kill for a Tammy Abraham in their team, wouldn't they?
Yeah, 100%. But I do think Tammy Abraham's level is a bit higher, like in Everton or in Aston Villa. But look, I really like Tammy Abraham. I really do. But it's very difficult to start him in any of those games because we have very big games. Like we have Champions League semi-final, final, FA Cup final. We have City, Arsenal. I would want him to be loaned out in the summer rather than sold. But if it means if we sell him, use the money and buy a world-class striker, then we should sell him.
But then if we did send him out on loan to, let's say, another Premier League team, is it going to be a Jesse Lingard scenario where we go, oh, he wasn't performing? I know it was only towards the end of the season that Lingard got the chance, but if he has the season of his life, we just turn up with egg on our face, don't we? Surely, or is that being fantastic business? He's got his confidence back. Let's get him on.
Well, it's both ways. Like if Tammy Abraham scores a lot of goals, we're gonna be like, why didn't he do that at Chelsea? But also, he didn't have a lot of opportunities at Chelsea under Tuchel.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's why he needs a fresh start. Whether it's a loan or like get him sold, I don't mind. But we need to use the money to sign like a Lukaku or a world-class striker.
Yeah, fair enough. Let's talk about, guys. I know I've obviously seen most of you on other channels and all that sort of stuff talking about the Madrid game, but let's just sort of jump into it a bit before we go into like our starting 11 or like our predicted 11 and all that sort of lark for Fulham. Alex, what did you think of the Madrid game? Because overall, 1-1 away from home against Real Madrid is not to be sniffed at.
Absolutely not. No, I think it was a good result. I would have taken that, before the game for sure. I think it was frustrating though because I don't blame everything on Timo, but the reality is I think he could have been more clinical in front of goal. I think when it comes to moments like that moment is so important for us because if he scores that, who headed it down to him? Was it Christian?
Pulisic.
Oh yeah. So if he had scored that, changes the whole game. So it's a tough one because I think 1-1 is a good result, but on the balance of play, I think we actually probably could have got a win and could have made our life a lot easier going back to the bridge. So apart from that, I think we played well. I think we deserved to get something of the game, but it's a difficult one because Madrid are one of those teams where you would think that we'd be comfortable in the second leg. You would think that we'd go through. However, people forget, Hazard on his day can cause anyone a problem. Benzema can cause anyone a problem. And if we're not careful, and I'm interested to know what formation Tuchel will go with in that game. But if we're not careful, then we can get spanked. So I think we shouldn't just assume because we're at home and because we had a good away fixture that we're going to breeze through. It's going to be a tough game for sure.
Absolutely. And Fatah, I'll come to you on the backlash of Werner's miss. But What I will say is, as well, as much as I like to give Werner stick as well, and of course we're all Chelsea fans. The second he starts scoring week in week out, we'll all love him. We know what he's we know what he's capable of, and we want it. We want him to achieve that. At no point do we not want him to succeed.
Yeah.
But the only reason that Tuchel did take him off as early as he did was because he saw Zidane change the formation of Madrid. So it then completely ostracized Werner even more so. So I don't actually think that he took Werner off because of the misses. I do actually think Werner had a relatively decent game, but the main parts of his game, unfortunately, is very well documented and televised because his misses are a key factor of what's happening at the minute. But in contrast to that, he didn't go off as early as he did because of those reasons. It was because of formation change in Madrid.
Yeah,
but
it was a game management. It was a game management.
Yeah, exactly. And Tuchel did actually come out and say that. That's not us just having a guess. He actually did say that is why he came off so early. So, Fata, would you expect him to be back for the second leg? Because I know you've explicitly said if you have a Giroud or a Tammy in a game like Madrid, you might as well play with 10 men. So what are your thoughts on that?
I would keep him in the second leg. And the funny thing is about Timo, I think he is the only striker we have who can make those runs that make himself available, even though he had that misses in the big chances. Then what people don't understand is I think he's not at his best. He's got confidence issue. I understand that, but if this is in the worst of his career right now, I'm excited to see what's the good side. But in terms of next week starting, I won't be surprised if he's starting next week. I would prefer for him to be left out for this weekend against Fulham, just because I'm really concerned on how Fulham play. Are they going to play a low block? Are they going to play a high line? I'm not sure, but I feel like in the next week against Real Madrid, he has to start because he can make I think he has the ability to make those spaces and make himself available.
Yeah, it's very valid. Eli, what do you think? Are you more so? Are you on? Yeah, what side? Whose side are you on, Eli? Tell me.
It's very difficult. It's very difficult because I like Werner. I really do. But what happens if he misses a big chance and then Real Madrid score and we lose 1-0?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, but what I will say on Fata's side, because normally Fata's got to fight these battles on his own. So, but what I will say to that is there are 10 other people on the pitch. I do understand that he's normally the person that has the shot.
Yeah, but Joe, in that moment, mate, there's 10 other people on the pitch, but in that moment, he's got to score. No one else can help him. Do you know what I mean? Like
exactly.
They can't push it into the net for him. Like he's paid to score goals. It's what strikers are meant to do.
Yeah, and that is where I normally sit. But for the sake of balanced argument, I'm on Fat's side. No, but Eli, talk to me.
Look, the 1-1 draw at Real Madrid, I'd take it all day long. We know we're at Stamford Bridge. If we keep a clean sheet, we're in the final. If we don't lose the game, we're in the final. So, yeah, I'm happy with the 1-1 draw. I know we could have won the game, and we should have. But, look, I'll take it. And who would I start as a striker against Real Madrid? Probably Havertz.
Would you have Werner in the sort of slightly further back left on to the left, because we've seen how capable he is of getting those darting runs. His assists are fantastic, and when you really look at it, all of his assists, besides that sort of very easy sleight of pass to Mount against West Brom, which inevitably didn't actually come to anything important anyway, but all of his assists are pretty much like for like the same type of assist. We know how good he can do. And everyone knows what he's capable of, and he's almost impossible to stop because no one has done so far when he does it.
And so we saw a beautiful assist against Man City.
Exactly.
But I wouldn't start him against Real Madrid. Like my front three would be Pulisic, Mount, and Havertz.
Pulisic, Mount, Havertz. Okay, but then with that, and Zion will come to you for that. With the front three that Eli just suggested. which was, I mean, Mount was part of the front three against Madrid last time, but because of how Madrid lined up, he was very much part just in front of the pivot of Jorginho and Kante. So in regards to that, did you think that side of it worked? And give us your Werner thoughts. Everyone, you can't have a Chelsea chat without talking about Timo Werner at this point. So what are your Timo Werner thoughts?
But first, when it comes to the first leg, opportunity wasted to just kill the tie off. Let's be real. I mean, I'm sorry, yeah. As much as I love Timo Werner, as much as his work ethic is brilliant, but I think even the likes of strikers who aren't even clinical, they could probably finish that away. I mean, as much as I know Fatah's getting angry right now and he's looking at but
no, nothing.
I'm just saying though. But I would still start him against Madrid. This is where I'm going to be along with Fatah. I think I'd still start him. I'd say I'd probably have my front three. I mean, I'd say Mount playing in that number 10 kind of role behind, like in front of the pivot. That was okay for me. But I'd play Werner on the left, Ziyech on the right, and Havertz down the middle. I think that combination works. I think that combination might work because Werner, he's got pace. He can beat, because I think he's going to be matching up with the likes of Danny Carvajal on the left. Yeah. So I think
I agree with you because if you get Ziyech there as well, last thing I looked, because it might have changed now, but Marcelo looks like he's probably going to be out as well still.
Well, to be honest with you, if he was there, it would have made no difference because I saw him in the first
Mendy, sorry, not Marcelo, Mendy. Apologies.
No, both Marcelo and Mendy going to be doubt. Both Marcelo and Mendy.
And as much as you hate to say it, even better.
If Mendy's a doubt, I'd take that all day long. Because Mendy's no joke as a left back. The guy is really good. He's got pace. He's very smart, and he's very young as well. Like I said, he's a good player. He's a good left back. People don't give him credit, just because he's playing in the La Liga. But to be honest with you, if Werner's matching up with Carvajal, that's going to give him a big test, Carvajal, because I don't think he'll be be able to handle the pace. Ziyech with his diagonal balls in the box could help Havertz. I think Havertz and Werner link up brilliantly because we've seen that in the past. So I think those two would be a huge thing. But that's then you're leaving out Pulisic, which I think also is a big loss because I think he's the one who scored that goal, didn't he? To get us that goal. And he's been playing so well. So it's hard. Like I said, we've got so many options. We got to be happy about that. We've got so many options. If the likes of, say, have Ziyech or Werner or even, Havertz ain't performing, bring Pulisic on at half time to change the game. We've got options, but I would definitely give Ziyech, a start, and I'd definitely give Havertz because I think Havertz was picking up form. He was doing well, but then he's got benched, and I just hope that that when he got benched, his confidence hasn't gone low, but I would definitely start Havertz up front as a false nine, and put Ziyech on the right and probably Werner on the left because if Carvajal's there. I'd want him to face Werner because I don't think he'll.
Carvajal's going to be out anyway. He's going to
be out.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't know who they're going to play then. They're going to probably play Toni Kroos in the right back role and probably Modric in the left back. So if that's the case, we've got this. But like I said, I'm very excited to see how Tuchel lines up. Is he going to line up with the likes of a back five, which I think he will, a back three obviously, and then the two wing backs because I think that's where he'll go with. But I'd love to see him play a 4-4-3. But it might leave gaps in the middle. That's what I'm worried about. So, but I'm excited. I'm very excited.
Yeah, of course.
Sorry.
Yes, you can. No, go for it.
I'm really scared of Hazard scoring against us, knocking us out. I just have a feeling because the way he came on for Real Madrid, and I was clapping for him and stuff, and I was watching it on my phone. He was like, "You watch that second leg. You watch that second leg. It's gonna knock us out." And I'm actually scared about that.
Yeah. He wasn't looking too mad. And of course, whilst we're still on the subject of Real Madrid, let's not forget. It is very easy to be talking about the negatives because there's more to talk about. But let's really highlight a positive here. We watched this happen. This happened. We put this absolute waste man on his ass within 15 minutes.
I was clapping at that moment.
That will, regardless whether we win or lose the tie, That's going to stay with me for the rest of my life because we all know what he's done, and that happened in the first 15 minutes. Unfortunately, it didn't come to fruition, and it wasn't as important as we initially thought. But it's still an away goal, and look, that's not to be sniffed at. However, that was a fantastic part of the day.
It was a good goal.
It was.
Overall, really, I think we're all in agreement that it was a good goal. Missed opportunities, but then again, you can't. What I will say is, although Werner had a miss that should have gone in, you have got to look at someone like Dave, who was playing right wing back again, and we saw against I've lost my train of thought. Against West Ham, that he didn't really have the legs for it. He tried it again, and he was the person that was beaten to the initial header that got it back into the box of Benzema's goal in the first place. So things like that, Timo Werner's got nothing to do with that part of the thing. However, it makes the draw more irritating because of the chances at that end. I do understand.
Yeah, on that note, when I saw Azpilicueta play right wing back, I was like, what is Tuchel doing? I mean, let's be real. Don't get me wrong, I love Azpilicueta. I think he's brilliant. He's been brilliant this season. Let's be real. But I think he's been better as that three centre back pairing, not a right wing back. He hasn't got the legs, and that's where I wanted Reece James. Because if Reece James had matched up with the likes of whoever was there behind him, I think he would have got to that header. I think that Azpilicueta's height let him down there a bit. So. To be honest, it was, in my opinion, a lucky goal to concede, but what a finish, though. I mean,
I feel that when he put Aspi as a right wing back, I feel there's a bit game management there because if you look at the level of fitness of Reece James as a right wing back, he hasn't got the that much stamina, I would say, and I would think that Tuchel gonna put Reece James in that second leg and then get Aspi as a right centre back because. I don't think Reece James I don't think that he cannot play. He cannot play basically from Real Madrid game, and then play a Fulham game, and then play against Real Madrid again in the second leg. So I would think he's gonna put Reece James in the second leg, then bring back Aspi as a right centre back.
Agreed.
But it's difficult because Thiago Silva, Rudiger, and Christensen are all performing very well together. So why would you drop one of them out just to get Azpilicueta back in?
To be honest, out of all those defenders, don't drop Rudiger out. The guy's an absolute beast. Just don't drop him out.
Yeah, he's it's come out that he's taken a knock in training, so he won't be available for the Fulham game. But to be fair, I don't necessarily know how true that is, or if it is true, how severe it will be. So with any luck, he will be back for the second leg because very much need him. But then you have got Aspi to fill in those roles. So it's not the worst thing in the world because don't get it twisted. As a Chelsea fan, you always want Dave to be on the pitch. He's a veteran of this club. He's fantastic and he's consistent throughout. However, if you're thinking it's 1-1 against Real Madrid, do you want him to play as a right wing back or not be on the pitch? I'd probably not have him on the pitch.
To be honest, this is why I'm so happy that we've got squad depth. I mean, if one of our centre backs now pick up an injury, we've got someone to replace them, and they've played with each other. This is why I always wanted the squad depth at Chelsea. We've seen City had squad depth for like how many years now? They've got like another starting lineup on the bench ready to go, and this is what I wanted. So if Rudiger is out, at least we got someone to replace him for. So I'm happy with that, and you know what? This is why I think we're strong, and I don't think people will be still saying that we're favourites just because we're ahead by a goal. But I think if we score first and then keep it tight, we'll see it through, in my opinion.
Absolutely. And the last thing we'll talk about that Real Madrid game, particularly as Ernest is desperate for me to mention. The push on Ben Chilwell. Guys, be real, footballing brains, was that a penalty?
No.
Nope.
Nope.
I barely even know what's the incident.
So Chilwell's come in the second half, and I believe it's Carvajal that pushes him.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks Chilwell's made a meal of it, really. But he's in the box, he's pretty much gone to get the ball. Carvajal's pushed him. I think Chilwell's anticipated that he's not going to get the ball due to the bounce anyway, and has gone down straight away.
No, I don't. To be honest, as a neutral, as much as I want that to be a penalty, I don't think it was a penalty. I just don't think it is because he's never getting to that ball, and he knows he's not going to get to that ball, so he just takes the push. So I don't think it's a penalty. I think it's if it was given, I would have taken it all day. Let's be real.
Of course.
Who wouldn't have taken it?
No. But you know
So-
what's so interesting about it, though, even I don't think it's a penalty. I've seen it being given. This is what really fucks me off about penalty decisions.
That's
They're so inconsistent. Like, it's down to interpretation. The ref looks at it, decides, am I going to check with VAR? Am I going to go to screen? If you go to screen and slow it down, it looks worse than it is. The whole thing's just a shit show. So it just annoys me because you see it in quick time, you're like, it's not a penalty. Watch it back, it is a penalty. So
this is
Because he's not your Mo Salah or anything like that, as this guy says. You know, if he moaned like it, but of course, my boy Ben Chilwell has not got that in him. He would not do that. But he, but you know, he is 100% right. If that was maybe even, I dare say it, and I'm sorry, Chilwell, a more prolific player, that could be a penalty. Realistically, we've seen them given. We've seen harsher results given.
It's like some of these penalties that I've seen this season have been absolutely diabolical. I mean, there's just been like a small touch and the guy's gone down. There's like going, what to the referee? And the referee's like stops the play. VAR checking in. The worst part is the way that I hate when referees go look at the screen. That's what I hate, especially if it's against teams that are doing so well, worked hard, and then they go, oh, you know what? Yeah, it's the slow motion, in my opinion, that really destroys the game.
Agreed.
Because I think if they're looking at a proper game pace, you're not going to see that. They're going to be like, oh, he just fell. So I'm sorry, but sometimes VAR is not our fault. It's sometimes the referee on the field. Sometimes they need to have their eyes checked. Let's be real, because they're looking at a slow pace, so they can see it. But at a slow pace, everything's going to look bad. There's nothing that's not going to look right. At a normal game pace, you'll see what it is. As we see at home, is at a normal pace. Obviously, they do show replays, but then at the start, we see a fast-paced thingy. So I don't get this, to be honest with you. This whole rule, this whole penalties this season have been absolutely diabolical.
Agree.
Absolutely. But less on that now. Let's think about the Fulham game. I'm probably similar to you guys. I'm assuming there's going to be a hefty amount of rotation this game. Hopefully not too much, because it is still vital to our season. Unfortunately, and it's our own fault that this game is as vital as it is because of previous results that we've allowed to get ourselves into. So real, and also Fulham are still fighting for relegation, and they're going to come out as hungry, if not hungrier than us, for the sake of their season. We'll start with Fata on this one. What are you expecting from us? And then maybe what are you expecting Scott Parker to bring to the table?
I feel like in our midfield department especially, I don't think Tuchel are going to want to risk Kante and Jorginho a lot in tomorrow's game, because I think that they're a bit leggy at the end after the Real Madrid first leg. I feel that Jorginho might be rested for this game. I can see Billy Gilmore starting, even though Tuchel already mentioned in the press conference earlier. And in terms of our defense, do we really have a lot of option apart from Christensen and Aspie?
Yeah, Alonso, Emerson.
This is the one
I don't want them. I'm just talking about options.
Yeah, options. Yeah, I'm not sure if he's going to put Alonso or Emerson as a left centre back, but if he's going to put Zuma, then it's understandable then. And as far as Fulham concerned, they're really fighting for their lives, and I think they're going to press us in the beginning. I feel like they're not going to sit deep, I would think, because the way that Fulham play, because I've been conducting a investigation on the way that how Fulham play. I feel like the way that they play is more like a high pressing game. But in terms of on how we're gonna set up, I think that front three could be the important one because we don't know what's our best front three yet. But I feel like there's gonna be a lot of rotation in that front three. But in terms of he's gonna start, but I won't be surprised if Werner gonna be dropping the bench, mainly because I would think that he's gonna save him for Real Madrid. But apart from that, man, it's just for me. Fulham gonna fight for their lives. We're gonna fight for that top four. I think in terms of on the level of fitness, they got a slight edge just because they haven't played in a week. We got Champions League last few days ago, but in terms of our play, look, if you compare to our players and them players, I think we got the edge though.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure we're all in agreement, really. But if the one thing I would say, I'd like to give Werner at least 45 minutes on Saturday because I want him to. I'm so desperate for that man to get a goal and walk off with a smile on his face rather than frustration, especially going into a game where we're desperate for him to pull his finger out. I'd like to see him have at least 45. Eli, what would you agree or disagree with me on that?
I agree. I want Werner to start against Fulham, but not against Real Madrid. Because I do think there's a big opportunity there for Werner to score against Fulham to maybe get a bit of confidence back. Although he scored against West Ham, there was no confidence. But look, my predicted lineup would be Kepa, Christensen, Zuma, Azpilicueta, midfield Gilmore, and Jorginho. Kovacic is still out, right?
Yes. Well, they said he's pretty much still out. It's not entirely confirmed, but I'm not being funny. If he's going to be sheepish for the Fulham game, I'd rather not have him anywhere near the pitch.
I would
keep him for Madrid.
Callum Hudson-Odoi at right wing back, left wing back, maybe Marcus Alonso just to freshen up the team a bit. And my front three would be Mason Mount, Timo Werner, and Hakim Ziyech.
Yeah.
About Fulham, look, I like Ademola Lookman. I think he's a very young, good player. I like the way they play. I rate Scott Parker, but I think we're gonna win the game, like 2-3-1.
Yeah, I understand. And also, you've got an element of their attack will not be on the pitch because obviously Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I'm pretty sure he can't. Well, he can't play. He can't play against us.
Yeah.
So there's that. What I will say as well that I think Alphonse Areola has what a signing he's been for Fulham. Because when you think of some of the games that they've got a cheeky point from, wow, like he's seriously probably the reason they're not next to as close to Sheffield as they should be, really, because some of the performances they've put in have been pretty poor at the back, and Areola has absolutely kept them in it. I'm
surprised he plays for Fulham. Like he's a top quality keeper.
We were no disrespect to like Fulham as a club, but some of the performances they've shown us this year, really.
Of course, yeah.
Sorry, gentlemen. Joe is frozen right now. We'll be back soon. We'll be back soon. Wait, go on, Eli. What are you going to say?
No, I was just saying it's going to be a tough game against Fulham, but we'll win it. We'll beat them.
Alex, go on, Alex.
I'm not as optimistic, mate.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think Fulham. Look at how they play against Arsenal. Fulham are very hungry to stay up. Like, I think the first 10 games this season, it was the writing was on the wall. Then they started to have some good results, and then like the bottom 10 teams, like things started to open. And I think they just, we've got a shot staying up here, and they've had some good games. So like, they're not a team that we're just going to walk all over. I don't think anyway. I think if we play like we played against Brighton, I think it'll be a frustrating match. And we need a win. We don't need a draw because West Ham have got Burnley, I think, and I think they'll win that game. And Liverpool potentially could have a good run. So we're not guaranteed top four. However, if you think about it, if we get the job done against Madrid and then have a good, let's say City beat PSG, right? We can beat City in the final and then we'll win the Champions League and then we qualify for the Champions League anyway. So probably I agree about resting players because I think we've actually got a good shot of winning the Champions League now. I didn't think we would, but if we play City in the final and we beat Madrid, then I think we'll win because I think City, we know how to beat City, to be honest.
No, I've always said, sorry.
If you look at last week, the way that they play against Arsenal, I feel like they're an opponent that we should not be underestimate, even though they're sitting below the relegation zone about 18 spot. But I feel like against Fulham, the last time we played them, it was more to the fact that we just keep spamming crosses and that. But in this game, I don't think Tuchel want to risk as much as players as he wants to, just because we got that Champions League game on Tuesday. But I feel like, again, in that front three, it's still questionable, like which one you prefer. And there's going to be a lot of controversial once the lineup came up.
I understand they played well against Arsenal, but I know Arsenal are a big club, but at the moment, Wickham can beat them. Let's be fair. So they're a bad team.
Yeah.
So let's not take.
No, I do get that. But I think we've got to be careful about trying to banter Arsenal because we've got to be pretty well. So I think we need to be careful about banter Arsenal, to be honest.
Yeah, because Arsenal could be in the Champions League next season and we get.
I just think, honestly, I think that the thing about Fulham, right, is when we played them, all right, we did have Lampard, and I know we had a different formation. And at the time, we were just, I don't know what was happening. Like every game, I was actually worried we were going to lose. Like it was a different time. I do get that. However, Fulham are very, very hungry to stay up. Like you can see it. Like they were so devastated that Arsenal got that equaliser. So they'll want it more. We'll rest more players. So I actually think we'll draw, to be honest, or lose. Like, I know that's a negative view, but I think we're going to rest the quality squad for the Real Madrid game, and I just can't see us caring about it that much. We should care about it, but I think that's how Tuchel can see it.
You lot think, considering he came with us to Spain, do you think there's a possibility of Angerin getting a look in here?
No, not start. Maybe on the bench.
Yeah. No, I'm not talking play the full 90. I'm just, and then, but I've just seen someone else pop in as well.
To me,
go on.
To be honest, I'm worried about this game because I mean, after seeing that game against West Brom, I'm worried about these small teams that are actually fighting for their lives because they're gonna come at us. I don't care if we're at home. We were at home against West Brom. What happened then?
Yeah,
we're at home against Fulham. I'm worried. I think if we don't start off well and they come at us like West Brom did, it's going to be a long day because these to be honest, Fulham people are taken for granted this season. I know they didn't have a great start, but they've picked up form in my opinion. Just a bit too late, but also at the right time as well because they can still do this. I can still think they can get stay up, but I think there will be a lot of changes, which I think Tuchel will do. Let's be real, because I think he's got his one eye on the Champions League semi-final. I know he wants to win this game as well, but the semi-final, in my opinion, probably is equally important. So I'd love to see a lot more rotation. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Kepa in goal, to be honest. So the guy who I never thought I'd see back in the starting lineup, I wouldn't mind seeing him because the defense is that solid. He can be. I think he can see that. So I'd take that, but yeah, like I said, I definitely see. I would definitely see Zuma back in. I could, give my man Billy Gilmore again. My guy.
Yeah, straight up.
This guy, I feel so sorry for him after he got picked up that injury and just basically disappeared on the radar because I think if that injury didn't come up, he would have been, in my opinion, probably even giving the likes of Jorginho, Kovacic a go in that starting lineup. So I really rate him highly. So I think he should come in. Front three wise, why not give Tammy a go? If you're not going to play Werner, you're going to rest him for the game. If you're going to rest, if you're going to rest Werner, if you're going to rest some of these big players, for the Madrid game, play Tammy then, because you're not going to play him against Madrid.
Yeah. Well, no, but I agree with that. Tammy will be hungry. He's not played for ages, and he'll
Yeah,
be
100%.
Probably a good food.
Going as well. So yeah,
I'd play I'd play Tammy. I'd play Tammy next to Werner for the first 60 minutes and see how that goes.
I thought you almost said Giroud and Tammy as our strikers. I'm like, I ain't watching that game.
Well, you know, that's mad.
I'm worried about this game. I think we might either get slapped like we did against West Brom, or we might just pick up a scrape and easy, a draw, because I don't know what Chelsea will turn up on the day. To be honest,
fully.
To be honest with you, I don't know which Chelsea. That Brighton game was so dead. I fell asleep. I actually fell asleep just watching the game. Now I
remember that day as well. That day was peak because I was on such a high. I'd just been to the protest, and then we found a little pub outside. I was with Sammy, and it was just the deadest game I've ever watched.
So to be honest, if we don't start off well, we start off slow, lethargic, all this kind of stuff, we're gonna get out, because Fulham, I think, have got more. I know we got to get top 4. We got a lot to play for as well. Let's not reveal. I think this is the tightest top 4 race I've ever seen in my lifetime. I've never seen this tight. This race is. But Fulham are staying up. They want to stay up. They're fighting for their lives. So they want to go for us. They would go out all guns blazing. Let's be real. So
absolutely.
Sell Burn and keep Tammy. Wow. Wow. Whoever said that then.
So whilst we're still on the sort of full information and stuff, I'm going to get Rayan in, who's been waiting patiently in the wings. If he is ready. Yeah, he's ready. Lovely. So, Rayan, what are your thoughts? Hello again, bro, first of all. Secondly, give us your thoughts on what you would assume the starting 11 is close to be, and then we'll give everybody else's like full starting 11-ish. We'll try and agree, but we could be here for hours.
What's it called? I think it should be a fairly solid game, but like if Fulham lose this, then I think they're gonna get relegated. And if Brighton win their game, then I think they'll definitely get relegated. So they've got something to play for. And in terms of the lineup, what I think Tuchel will do, I think he'll go Mendy in goal, Christensen, Zuma, and Azpilicueta as a back 3. Then Reece James, Marcos Alonso. I think he'll play Marcos Alonso instead of Chilwell. And then I think he'll go Jorginho and Kante again. I just don't think he'll play Billy Gilmore in this game. But I think he'll bring him on around the 70th minute. And then I think the front 3 will be, I think he'll be Hudson-Odoi, Mount and Havertz. But I don't know. I could see him playing Ziyech instead of Hudson-Odoi, but I think it's because I feel like it's been a bit of a long time since we've seen Hudson-Odoi. So I think, especially because he's on the brink of getting questions. He's on the brink of getting questions about Hudson-Odoi, so he probably will just want to play him so the media won't ask about it, because Hudson-Odoi hasn't started in quite a bit since like Crystal Palace. So that's why I think he'll play him, but. Yeah, I think Marcos Alonso will come in for Chilwell. And yeah, but other than that, I don't think Billy Gilmore will play, to be honest, man. I think he'll stick with Jorginho Kante.
Is it? Yeah. I mean, I totally agree. Like if you're thinking game management and you get someone like Chilwell pulls up halfway through the Fulham game, that means Marcos Alonso is playing against Real Madrid. And that is terrifying. So you can't even think about something like that. But you think Mendy will go in goal still? How come?
Mendy?
Yeah, no, I just think last time we saw Kepa was Real Madrid, and I think the last time we'll probably see him is like the FA Cup. It might be the FA Cup final, to be honest, because I think the board will just be like, you know what, you've played through it. You've played the hardest game in the FA Cup, which is the Man City game. And I don't think Tuchel will want to do it, but I just think like it's just to get his value up. But I think that's the last time I think we'll see him, like until the FA Cup final. Because I think in the league, I think the board will let him just play Mendy, and I think Tuchel, I don't know, Mendy as well is like chasing the clean sheets as well in the Premier League after Edison. So yeah, I just think Mendy now is coming to the business end of the season. We've seen Kepa like randomly like against Brighton and against Newcastle and stuff like that. But I think Mendy's just gonna play until the end of the season, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Okay.
Anyone else got sort of like a sort of anything else to sort of bring up about the Fulham game or sort of like the potential worries? I know Zion's touched on that he's worried. I'm probably equally as worried because I know what we're capable of. I also know what we've done in the past to actually demise ourselves to our own opportunities. Because let's face facts realistically, we've got a very, very tough second leg of the Champions League semi-final. You know, and then you go into the final, you're facing two of the best teams in Europe, no matter who wins. Right. We Champions League next season for us, as it stands, is not entirely guaranteed. And when you think as well, you've got, I believe it's 7 points that Fulham are adrift of being safe. They're 7 points away from Brighton. They're going to be desperate for this point. And I don't think our players have got it in them to sort of relieve themselves of the complacency that I think they've got embedded in them at this current state. I hope I'm wrong, but what do you lot think on that?
I think, to be honest, yeah, like you got to remember that I think if someone like the fringe players are coming in, you got to remember if Fulham, really want to win this game, they might tend to open up. And if they open up because they're not like probably used to pressing, or probably just used to playing like a low block like all the other teams, or like all the other smaller teams, that might, especially if we play Jorginho as well, with like a Kante who's like sometimes good at like escaping press, like wriggling through, or even a Gilmore who deals well with the press as well. And plus, if we bring in some like fringe players that don't normally play recently, like if Alonso plays, he might want to prove a point. If Hudson-Odoi plays, just know he will really want to prove a point because he hasn't played since like Crystal Palace, and you know Christian Pulisic has been doing very well, and like everyone's kind of forgotten about Hudson-Odoi, so he's maybe gonna want to make a statement like, yeah, I'm still here and I'm still in contention, especially if he plays on the left, where for me is his best position. Mason Mount, like he's gonna give you what Mount gives you all the time, and then Ziyech as well. Like I think not Ziyech, Havertz as well. Obviously, he's seen Werner score and then miss, so I think he'll want to prove a point as well to show that he's our number one striker. So yeah, like I get what you're saying, but I think the players will get us through because I think they'll want to prove a point.
But I don't know. I just want to rest. For me, the Madrid game is more important. I just feel like we've had a good momentum in the Champions League. Like a lot of people didn't expect us to get to the semi-final. Let's be real, especially early in the season. Like, we've had two different seasons. We had a Lampard season. We've had a Thomas kind of season. But I think if I was him, I'd be resting our big players. Like I just don't. Fulham is an important game. I get that, but I feel like we've got momentum and we can beat Madrid. And like Champions League final, anything can happen in the final. We win, we guaranteed Champions League football anyway. Fulham will be up for it. I just think we've got to be playing Callum, Gilmore. We've got to be resting players like Jorginho. We've got to be resting Mount. Mount gets fucking played all the time. He needs to be rested. Like, he's literally probably played. I would argue he's probably. Actually, he's probably our top player in terms of how many games he started this season. Probably over most other people. I think.
I think him and Azpilicueta are very much in contention.
Yeah,
I think there's 5 days to rest. To be fair, like you got Saturday and then you got Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, as well as Mount not really getting injuries. But for me, if we don't play Mount, yeah, I know like Werner had a very bad miss against Real Madrid, but like I think when we played Werner, Hudson-Odoi and Havertz against Everton, I think that actually looked quite fluid. You had like Havertz dropping deep, then you had Werner just taking defenders out of positions and making runs, and then you had Hudson-Odoi kind of just coming deep from the left and creating. And if not that, I think Ziyech will probably deserve to play more though, to be honest. But if we need to rest Mount, I actually would like to see Werner, Hudson-Odoi, Havertz, because that worked pretty well against Everton.
Absolutely. And you got to think, if you look at some of the youth games, a lot of Hudson-Odoi's goals or his goal contributions came from when he was playing around the left wing area. So I don't, especially in a game against Fulham, you got that's just popped up as well. If you played him at left wing, and again, like this comment suggests here, this will probably be the last time these players should get a rest. When you think of the games that are coming up, potentially we've got a cup final, we've potentially got another final if we do well on Wednesday. I think this is the time for Callum. If you're going to tinker with the formation, this is the game to do it.
Yeah.
I think Hudson-Odoi as well, yeah. Like I feel like the balance we get with like Havertz, Hudson-Odoi, and Werner if we play them, because I feel like if we play Ziyech, yeah, like sometimes when you play Ziyech, you have to play someone like a Werner or a Pulisic who's constantly on the run, and like Hudson-Odoi and Ziyech, they both wanna create. And like Pulisic and Werner like running in behind more, and Hudson-Odoi likes getting in front of defenders, beating them, and then creating chances. So Hudson-Odoi on the left, yeah, I feel like he can cut in, then he can either make a cross or he can shoot. Then you have like Havertz and Hudson-Odoi have like a good connection, and then Werner, like if we play Werner, yeah, with Havertz and Hudson-Odoi, you probably won't see him much on the ball. But I think, first of all, his link up with Havertz, and then the ability to just take defenders away, making the runs. Like if Havertz is coming deep and Hudson-Odoi is creating, and then so I think that's the perfect balance for me.
Look, we all gotta remember Real Madrid. The game against Real Madrid is one of our biggest games in our history. Like it's that big. We're talking about reaching a Champions League final for what, our third time?
Yeah.
It's a huge game. And I do have goals. Like I want to win the FA Cup. I want to finish third, and I at least want to reach the Champions League final. So I want to beat Fulham, and I want to beat Real Madrid.
So, I understand. Like everyone's want to win all the games that are a heavy basis, but in terms of how we're gonna win those games, I think the most important thing is to keep these guys on a healthy, because eventually, like for me, the only thing that's gonna stop our progress, that's gonna hamper our progress in terms of our reaching our achievement by the end of the season, is the injuries, and we already lost 2 so far. I don't know how much big Rudiger gonna be missed, but I feel like these 2 players gonna at least not gonna stop us overall, but at least gonna hamper us a bit tomorrow, and you'll see by tomorrow what's kind of Fulham tactically gonna be set up tomorrow. We'll see.
For me, I think the 3 players we need to wrap in cotton wool for this game, and I think these are the 3 players that, on general ability, I think are our 3 best players. I think we need to really wrap these 3 players in cotton wool. Thiago Silva, Christian Pulisic, and N'Golo Kante, because I feel like those 3 for me, like they have to play against Real Madrid. Thiago Silva, we just need his experience in a game like Real Madrid. Pulisic, he has some shady injury record, so when you get a chance to rest him, especially for someone like Hudson-Odoi or Ziyech, you have to take your chance. And then N'Golo Kante as well, like in the last 2 years, he's had a bit of a shady injury record as well. So, and he's played quite regularly since Kovacic has got injured. So I think those 3 players, for me, I think we have to wrap in cotton wool and we have to rest for Real Madrid.
I agree. The other person has got to be Mount if we're wrapping people in cotton wool.
But for Mount, I just don't think he's got the, like with Pulisic, he's got the injury record. With Kante, he's kind of got a little bit of a shady injury, and then Thiago Silva's 36. But with Mason Mount, like when have we ever seen him get injured? The only time I can remember him getting half injured was like against Valencia when Coquelin kind of snapped him in half and that. But he doesn't really get injured, and he's a guy who can just play. But
that is
as well. I don't mind.
Don't jinx it.
Yeah, that's famous. That is sort of famous last words sometimes, though. Because I do totally agree with you. Like, if out of those 4 people, if you had to play one of them, I'm picking Mount tenfold. Like, there's absolutely no doubt. it takes one bad tackle from like Onguisa or someone like that. I mean, like Fulham they're a physical side. They're not dirty, but they're a very physical midfield.
Old school football, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's in Scott Parker's blood. That type of football.
Also, you got to think when a team's desperate, like the risk factor comes into play. Like there is going to be like aggressive tackles because they're desperate to fucking win the game. Like they have to win the game. So we need to be careful while playing Mount just because we think he's not going to get injured. Like if he does get injured, the Real Madrid game is going to be a completely different game for sure.
How would you approach Real Madrid? Would you go defensively and set up because we know if we keep a clean sheet, we're through? Or do you actually go and attack the game?
You attack the game, get the first goal, and then you can
exactly.
You look every single review, every single Chelsea page I saw. We're going, we're going to sit back. They're going to come at us. Not the game I watched. We were on top for 65 minutes of the game.
I agree.
Why can't we do it again? Especially technically at home. Let's do it again. Let's do it again, but let's be more clinical in those areas. Let's get Werner just rather than Werner going, I'll place it. He needs to have that aggression to just smash it.
See,
and I think he's going to get there.
This is
Go
why,
on, Zion, sorry.
This is why I think this is why I like Tuchel, because to be honest with you, we've always gone in front and we know how to keep a clean sheet. We don't allow any that many goals. If we can score first, teams are going to be hard to break us down. We've seen big teams, and I mean big teams, try to break us down, and we're just not budging. So if we get a first goal, Madrid will have to put all their firepower in their attack to come at us. Yeah. And I don't think they'll be able to do it. I mean, don't get me wrong, Benzema can probably do something, a bit of moment magic from like a corner or a set piece. But that's it. If you think of open play, you ain't going to do that. I mean, I think the only person who's probably done that is probably the Southampton guy. What was it, Minamino, who did that? We went through our defence. So, to be honest with you, I've got more confidence in our defence than our attack. So, I'll take that any day.
Yeah, understood. Guys, what are your thoughts in regards to the rest of the season? I'll let this be a free-for-all because it's been a pretty civilized conversation. So, but what are your thoughts in regards to the final season? Of course, we're desperate for the Champions League, but would you still consider a top 4 finish and winning the cup a successful season?
Yeah,
I'll take that any day. From where we were at the end, where we were when Lampard
consider where we are in January.
Exactly. So 100%. To be honest, to be honest with that, an FA Cup, I think the Champions League is just a sweetener. It's just that icing on top for me, and I'll take that as well. But from where we were when Lampard left and to where Tuchel's taken us, I'll take that any day. This season, definitely.
Definitely. But I do want a top 4 or to win the Champions League. Like we cannot afford to forget about the Premier League and lose the Champions League final and then don't be in the Champions League next season.
I feel that the Champions League is more of an insurance policy. In terms of how by the end of the season, I'm happy with top 4, and a trophy is another bonus, I would say. And Absolutely. If we get that Champions League, that should assure us that we got on a great.
If you cast your mind back to when Tuchel came, all of the press conferences, everything you heard was this man his aim for the rest of the season was to guarantee top 4.
Yeah,
he has not. Well, it's not essentially a guarantee right now because we know that results can go against us, and we're right back in the mix of it. But he is sitting in 4th place currently. He is the semi-finalist, and the first leg became a 1-1 draw against Real Madrid in the Champions League final, and we're in the FA Cup final against Leicester, who, with the exception of their front 2, are very, very gettable.
Yeah.
They're a good team. Leicester.
I think for me, my expectations would be a 4 and the FA Cup, because I think we're very capable of beating Leicester. With the Champions League, I don't really have any expectations. I expect us to beat Real Madrid, but when it gets to the Champions League final, you can't, unless you're playing like a team you expect to beat, you can't expect for anything, man. You just gotta watch that 90 minutes, and then if we lose, we lose, and then if we win, you gotta celebrate it. But for me, it's just Premier League, FA Cup, and the Champions League. Man, I hope we need to get past Real Madrid, but when you get to the final, you just watch the final, man, and see what happens. Because the final.
I think from a club perspective, like top four, like is important in terms of like the revenue it brings us. I do get that, but from a fan perspective, I would rather. I want to win the FA Cup more than I want to finish top four. To be honest, like a major trophy, and a historic trophy. Bear in mind, we lost to Arsenal in the FA Cup final last year, so we need to go and win that. I don't want to be losing back-to-back FA Cup finals. Like, it's not fun. So I'd rather win the FA Cup and finish fifth, and then get the Champions League final. Because if we then lose the FA Cup and we finish third, and we lose the Champions League final, I'm like, finishing third, yeah, great, but like we've not won anything. You know what I mean?
I get that, but if we win the FA Cup, we don't finish in the top four, and we don't win the Champions League, we're in the Europa League next season. Yeah. Whether if we finish third, no trophies, like the Champions League.
To be honest, like I said, the Champions League is just a sweetener for us. It's an icing on top. To be honest with you, I think nobody expects us to be at this stage in the Champions League for real. I mean, all these big clubs that were there, you know, that we got past. Like, I don't think nobody expects us to be Atletico. So we got past them.
Yeah.
So to be honest with
you, Zion, before you jump on that, what I will say to all you rival fans, yeah, I got told in these knockout stages, right? Oh, you won't get past Atletico. Oh, they're too difficult. You got no chance. We beat them. Oh, they were easy. Same with Porto. And now we're drawing 1-1 with Madrid. I got told, oh yeah, but they're injury prone. You lot just do not want us to succeed, do you? And I'm fully here.
They're always moving the goal. They move the goalposts more than goals in flipping AstroTurf, man. Yeah. I swear down, like.
So there you go. Like I said, like nobody expected us to beat these teams. So and like, look, we're beating them, and we're in the semi-final. We're in the second, and we might even be in the final. So all these haters that don't want Chelsea to see, well, they're gonna see this. We might be lifting up the trophy, and then you see Arsenal fans, you'll see in the likes of Spurs who never want a trophy.
Easy run. You've had an easy run.
Exactly.
Shut up.
You know what? In the Premier League, after this Fulham game, I like our run. We got Leicester, we got Arsenal, we got City, because I think we step up against these big teams. I think we can beat likes of City, Arsenal, and Leicester, because against the smaller teams, we think that we've already beaten them before we play them. That's how we think. That's our mentality when it comes to some of these small teams. And West Brom, we didn't give them respect.
It's complacency. It's literally good old-fashioned complacency and nothing more, nothing less. Yeah, fully. Like you can't be doing it. It's happened too many times in the past. I know everyone's got their bogey team, but I reckon that we've got 3 or 4 bogey teams, and that is just to be fair, that is essentially unacceptable, man.
Our bogey this year is West Brom, because we couldn't beat them at the Hawthorns, and now we couldn't beat them at home.
God, that was an awful game. 3-0 down in like 30 minutes.
Yeah, and like let's not like if you deep it, we were lucky to get a point there. So essentially, out of 6, we've got 1 point off of West Brom.
That's why I said FA Cup and top 4. In my opinion, I'll take all day long. If we don't win the FA Cup and get knocked out of the Champions League in top 4, I want a silverware. I want some trophy, because to be honest, we haven't won a trophy in a while. And like that game against Arsenal, we got robbed. We were playing against 12 men, including the referee. So to be honest with you, I want the FA Cup trophy, top 4, and if we get the Champions League, that's even better.
But you know what? What we need to do, we went into the Arsenal game thinking that we were going to walk that. We can't go into the Leicester game thinking, it's only Leicester. Nope. Because again, we lost Leicester early in the season. Like, they're a good team.
Leicester are fantastic. Not only are Leicester a good side, like the way they set up is fantastic. Castagna is back in full swing, and he was a proper danger at the start of the season. There's no reason he's not going to be bad now. And then Brendan Rodgers, although loves Chelsea himself, fantastic manager. He is. I mean, I do think Moisey's got it in the bag, but he is contender for manager of the season.
Brendan, to be honest with you, I think Rodgers never gets the credit that he deserves.
No, I agree.
From where he's, when he's, came from Celtic to Leicester and where they were, and to where he's, taken. I think Leicester are like, in my opinion, if they do get Champions League next season, I'm not going to say they're going to, slash through and go and win it. I think there could be another dark horse in the Champions League next season, because they're a good team. That midfield is brilliant. I love that midfield. The likes of Tielemans, Ndidi and Maddison. Those three are good players, and
and then not only that, you're forgetting you've got. I mean, James Justin's out to the end of the season, but what a player he was at the start of the season. He'll be coming back. Hopefully, he'll be playing for Leicester unless he goes to bigger and better things. But there aren't that many bigger and better things than Leicester at the minute.
Can I just say, first, if Leicester finish in that top 4, there should be a big 7 next season. Enough with that big 6. Leicester, look, they might not be the greatest club, but what they're doing
that. Just take Tottenham out the big 6 and let Leicester take their place.
I don't even know how Tottenham are in the big 6, conversation. Just because they've got a big stadium doesn't mean that they're a big 6 team.
I've got Tottenham fans as mates that just sort of go, oh yeah, your Champions League run's been easy, and they get peppered 3-0 by Dynamo Zagreb. I know Lewis likes talking about people going in pens and stuff. Their manager was in an actual real life pen, and they still managed to beat Tottenham. We didn't have to make a meme about it. He's actually in prison, bro, and we still managed to lose to a team whose manager is in pen.
They played against City in the final of the Carabao Cup, the way Mourinho played. So why did you sack him in the first place when you were going to play the same way?
That was about money, though. That was about money.
Forget all that money thing, because I think, in my opinion, if Tottenham fans got that silverware at the end, they would have taken that.
I know.
Right now, silverware for me, Tottenham is like the only, I think, cup that they probably would, I've got right now is that Audi Cup that they won, but I don't know how many years back. Yeah, and now they want to win the League Cup, which I think would be another cup they would do. But to be honest with you, the way they played against that game, why sack Mourinho? Because that's exactly where you would have, and you probably would have won it, in my opinion, with Mourinho. Because he wins silverware and win, Ryan Mason. I don't know who the hell that guy came from, the way he came from. But
I respect.
I thought he was going to go for it. Go attack all guns, play with Kane and Son, and they were just non-existent.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, the thing is, like if you wanted to sack Jose Mourinho, either sack him after the final or just sack him way before that. So at least the interim manager you get. First of all, you got time to get a good interim manager. Second of all, he has time, the person you get, to actually implement his tactics to give you a chance. But like, I don't get it. Just sack Mourinho after the final, innit? Like, if there's one man you want for a final, it's Jose. You don't know how we'll do it, but Ryan Mason did nothing.
That game was so tight. I think at the City, really, Tottenham were doing good in that first half, I think, by, say, a good 20, 30 minutes. And I think if Mourinho was there, he would have changed something up. And probably could have, gone to extra time or even penalties. And then they could have won that. So it's just beyond me the way they sacked him.
Yeah, but I think the thing is, like people slagged Mourinho for taking off Ndombele, Ryan Mason didn't even feature Ndombele in the game, and it's like, what? I think Tottenham were trying to do, what we did to City in the what's it called? In the Carabao Cup final a couple of years ago with Hazard and Kante having a masterclass, but that whenever they got on the counter, they just sat, and then whenever they got on the counter, Harry Kane couldn't carry them. Son was just non-existent.
And then Son was crying at the end of the match. Mate, where was that passion on the field? Why weren't you doing anything? You cried at the end just to say, oh, you know what, I tried my hardest and all that kind of stuff. What were you doing on the field? You didn't perform.
Bill was just there like, get up, man. It's just a Carabao Cup. I got like
that was too important. He's more important playing golf. He wants to play golf than play football right now. So
guys, take care, man.
So to be honest with you, there you go.
Look, I also want to say Tuchel is an incredible manager, and we're so lucky to have him. We need to back him in the summer.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
I think if we do this whole, and I know he was very much a caretaker manager and all that lark. If we do another sort of Di Matteo and we just let him go at the end of the season, it was an absolute travesty for this club.
Absolutely mad.
But
he got sacked. He won the Champions League final and got sacked. Oh, I was still laughing at that moment.
Yeah, absolutely peak. Guys, I'll ask this question and I'll sort of lead it into the final thoughts. But let's do this around sort of like transfers and things like that. But final thoughts on the Fulham game and transfer wise. Where do you think Tammy will go? I would just hate to see him, like many Chelsea players. No disrespect to them. If I see Tammy in claret or blue, it's an absolute devastation. Whereas if he went to somewhere like I would say, like I said at the start of the thing, sort of when he goes to the two promoted clubs thus far of Watford and Norwich, If I see him in one of those and he has a fantastic season, I think that would be good, which is why I would rather see Tammy Abraham out on loan rather than I would sell him straight away.
I agree. I would thought like, you know, in terms of if we're gonna loan him out or not, it depends like what are the situation right now in the club. Like we do need a lot of players in the summer. We do need a striker, backup striker, because Giroud's gonna be gone anyway. We do need a proper DM alongside Kante. I don't mind at all, which if he goes on loan, I don't mind if he wants to get a game time. But if the board are thinking like we have to get a top player in this team, and eventually we're gonna have to sacrifice to sell Tammy, I don't mind either. As long as the board's gonna sell Tammy in the summer, we have to make sure that the board get the right player in to strengthen the area that we need strengthening.
To me, also, like I said, if they're selling Tammy, you got to get the right price for him as well. I mean, the guy's young. The guy's still got a lot more football ahead of him. So, in my opinion, promoted clubs that are coming up, yeah, why not? I mean, to be honest, but will they pay that much? Will they pay 40 million for him? No, I don't think they will. I mean, if they need a striker, urgently, then probably yes, but it's very unlikely. But I think the only teams I could probably see coming at him, I'd probably say West Ham, because Antonio's picking up injuries now. He isn't doing well, and I think Tammy would do well there. I can see Joe's face.
I can't have it with West Ham, man.
To be honest, the most recent rumours that I was looking at were him going to Leicester. But why would Leicester, I think, buy him? I mean, unless they want, him as the Vardy successor. But I don't know.
That's like Vardy and Abraham are like chalk and cheese. Unless they've got a whole new game plan, unless they're like Rodgers is prepared to change the game plan, because obviously Vardy's not getting any younger.
No. If Vardy say loses his legs, well, he still. I don't think he still has, and he still won't. He's an incredible striker. Let's be real. And even with his age, he's doing it at the high level is unbelievable. But if Abraham does go there, I think Rodgers might suit his style to Tammy. And I think, to be honest, Tammy I don't think he deserves to go to any other bottom teams, because he's much better of a player than that. Yeah. I think he deserves to be in the mid-table, like around who else is there out there, to be honest, really? Who wants a striker? Villa, that's a good shout, but they've got Ollie Watkins, though. So
Brighton.
Would they want to spend another, say, 40 million on another striker and bring him in? And they got Leeds. Bamford is okay, so I don't think they would want to sacrifice and leave Bamford.
No, but I think he'd suit Leeds, actually. It's a good shot.
Especially when you think sort of the role that Tyler Roberts plays. I know he hasn't got the legs he's got, but if you sort of if you sub him for someone like your Tyler Roberts or your Rodrigo, because like Bamford and Rodrigo were playing together at the start of the season, then Rodrigo took a knock and they sort of changed it up ever so slightly. I think if you put Tammy in a front two with Leeds and you've got the likes of like Rafinha and Jack Harrison running at you, he's scoring 15, 20 goals a season.
Yeah,
I'd love to see Bielsa and Abraham.
Yeah,
that's a good combination, actually.
I don't think Bielsa will stay.
You don't?
I think he's gone. I think maybe Tottenham.
No. Why would he go there?
Bielsa to Tottenham.
I was chatting on Twitter with Tottenham.
I think he'd rather go to Norwich than Tottenham now, because.
Boys, I heard Sean Dyche just came for Spurs.
Sean Dyche.
Yeah, no, I'm not joking. Rumors like that. Yeah. Which I don't know what I'm laughing about, actually, to be honest, because he's not a bad manager.
I like Sean Dyche.
The thing about Tammy is I don't think he should go out on loan. He's been out on loan a few seasons, and he has a really good season in the Championship, but comes back, scores a couple of goals, he's just a bit inconsistent. Like, I think when he's playing well, he's a good player, and he does score some important goals for us. Off the ball, his work rate is important, and he's got a really positive mentality. I know we talked about his attitude before. However, Chelsea at the level that we're kind of at now, I just can't see. Even if he goes on loan for a season, comes back, I think he'll have the same problem. I just don't think Tammy's good enough for our style club. I agree. It's not nice to see him going back to the Championship, but the problem you've got is a team like Norwich that comes up, they go back down, which let's be honest, they will. Then what's going to happen? Is he going to come back, play 5 games, and then get benched again, then go out on loan? Like you got to think what he wants as well. He doesn't want to keep going out on loan, coming back, getting benched after 10 games. Like it's about his career at the end of the day as well.
I think he needs a fresh new environment, a fresh new team, fresh new teammates, and I think that's going to reignite his career. So I think selling him is the better option because I don't think if you're going to loan him and then he's going to come back, he's not going to get a sniff for the team anyway, regardless, whoever the manager is. I think even the manager says, he's training well, he's got a good attitude. That's not going to get you in the starting lineup. So I think selling him would probably be the best option for not only the club, but for him as well. Because I think he wants to probably play a lot more games. He wants to probably be, play 30 plus games a season. He doesn't want to be playing just 5 games and then just dropped and then playing another 5 games and then dropped again.
No, yeah. Do you think where'd you get 40 million from though? Do you think he's worth 40 million?
That's all hearsay, but that's it's been the benchmark.
I think the only reason why the 40 million mark has come up is because of his age and because of the talent that he can become. And I think don't get me wrong, he's not going to become an Erling Haaland. He's not going to become a Lukaku. No. He can definitely become, in my opinion, a player like a Danny Ings, a Calvert Lewin.
Do you think he scored 6 goals this season? Like Danny Ings and Calvert Lewin, they're in double digits.
With Tammy, he hasn't been having consistent game runs. He hasn't been.
Southampton is also a good shout when you think the injuries that Ings has been carrying. Abraham and Che Adams wouldn't be a bad duo.
Yeah, Southampton. I know what you mean. It'll be bottom 10. Bottom 10, I think.
But anyway, guys, we'll go in the order. So we'll go line for line. So Fata and then ending with Eli. Score predictions of Fulham, and then we'll leave it there for an evening.
I'll go 1-0. 1-0 win, Chelsea.
1-0. Who's scoring?
Andreas Christensen. Hello, Lewis.
Okay.
No. That's the most rogue answer you've given.
Wow.
Oh, God.
He's coming. Zion, what are you thinking?
Lewis. I know you're on the stream, but hi, Lewis.
I'm going to say a draw. I think we might draw it. I'm sorry. As much as wow. as much as I want to say I want us to win, and I do want us to win, but after that game against Real, I think in my opinion, I'm worried about Fulham. I'm worried about these teams that just come to the bridge because. So I'm gonna say 2-2.
Yeah. 2-2. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Alex.
1-0. I think we'll score first. And even though defensively we've been solid, I think he'll make substitutions. I think we'll get a little bit complacent. I think we'll start thinking about the Real Madrid game. And I think they want it. They need it. They need at least a point. I think the last 15, 20 minutes they'll push and they'll get an equaliser. So I think it'll be 1-0.
2-0 Chelsea. 2-0. Marcus Alonso free kick. Sorry about that. Marcus Alonso free kick.
Oh, God.
And Kai Havertz goal.
I think Tammy will score. If Tammy starts, I think he'll score 2 goals. He'll score 2 goals.
And then we won't sell him.
And then we'll sell him, but not only that, and then Fulham will get the 2 goals late on and then just ruin our day.
Yeah. Maybe we'll sell him to Fulham. Fulham can have it.
I think so. I'm thinking 2-1. I think Zuma and Havertz. I think there'll be a bit of a mix-up. I think because of the amount of rotation, I think there'll be a slight hint of confusion in the opening starts. I actually think we'll go 1-0 down, but I think we should work it back because I know that we're capable of. But if we do go 1-0 down, it's going to be 50 times harder to break that Fulham team down because they're going to play. They're playing a back 10 the second they score that goal.
If we go 1-0 down, then this is game over. That's all I'm going to say because
exactly
we saw that against West Brom. So I'll tell. To be honest with you, there you go.
Yeah. But anyway, guys, we're going to leave it there. Let me know in the comments underneath once we've ended the broadcast what you think the final score will be against Chelsea Fulham, which is, of course, at 5:30. Do not forget, if you want to join the watch along with Lewis and some of his guests, I don't know if I'll be on this one, but please do not hesitate to click the link. Do not forget to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, follow all these guys on Twitter, all of that sort of stuff. I hope you enjoy the game tomorrow. I hope it is the result we all hope. And as always, up the Chelsea, and I'll see you soon.